On a daily basis, we speak with agents about final expense leads. Over and over, I hear some of the same disheartening statements. Well, I tried those and they just didn't work out very well. Or even better, I bought some leads from so-and-so and they were terrible. What a complete waste of my money. Guys, it's all about perspective. If you can grasp the fact that a lead is simply a tool that is used to get in front of a prospect, then you'll understand that each tool is used differently. You do not take a screwdriver and hit a nail with it. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 4 secrets to working final expense leads that can literally change your game overnight. Coming up, so stick around. When it comes to working final expense leads, most agents tend to drop the ball and don't even come close to working their leads effectively. I'm speaking to you, the typical agent. There's a good chance that you're screwing up and don't even realize it, even if you've been selling insurance or been in the business for years. Guys, in case we haven't met, my name is Douglas Massi. Now, before we get into the video, I'm going to ask that you crush down on the thumbs up button so that we know you're actually watching. You should definitely subscribe to our channel as we're putting out lots of new final expense sales training videos on a regular basis. And if you ring the bell that's right next to the subscribe button, we're going to notify you each time we put out a new video. The number 1 secret to working final expense leads is that you have to have the correct approach. Whether you're door knocking your final expense leads or calling them to set appointments, you never, for any reason, ever use the word life insurance. It doesn't matter if you're working direct mail leads or final expense Facebook leads that actually say the words life insurance benefit right in bold print. When it comes down to it, the easiest and best people to sell will get buyer's remorse before you even give them a price if you don't approach them correctly. When you say, I'm calling about the life insurance, or I'm here about the final expense life insurance information that you requested, all you're doing is lowering your chances of making the sale. Never use the words life insurance until you're sitting down in front of the prospect making your presentation. Even then, it has to be done correctly so that you increase your chances for the sale instead of blowing the easier laydown sales. If you need final expense sales training, just give us a call and I'll gladly go over our final expense sales program with you. Number 2, you gotta smoothly transition from the lead card or the Facebook ad or the telemarketer lead to the presentation. This is where most agents tend to blow those super easy laydown sales that I mentioned earlier. Again, it comes down to the approach. This is when you smoothly let them know that this is a life insurance product while you're getting them to admit that they have a need for the insurance. I'm not going to give you guys my exact transitional statement as that information is proprietary and only for the use of our contracted agents. I will, however, share with you the 3 reasons approach that we use. What you never want to do is ask the prospect directly why they filled out the form or the lead card. What I do is I let them know that, Mrs. Jones, I've been doing this for a very long time. And the one thing I've learned over the years is that everybody I meet with fits into one of 3 categories or contacts me on Facebook for one of 3 reasons. The first reason might be that you've never prepaid for your funeral or cremation or that you have no insurance for it. The second reason, a lot of people have these little burial policies, but in most cases, it's just not enough insurance. So they do want to add to the insurance. And the third reason, Mrs. Jones, a lot of folks already have the funeral or the cremation already taken care of, and all they simply want to do is make sure that there's extra money left over to cover any additional final expenses. So, Mrs. Jones, of those 3, where do you fit in? That is exactly what I say to every single prospect that I meet with, and it works pretty much every time. Number 3, never ever give up on a lead. if you're trashing a lead, it better darn well be because they either kicked you out of the house or you made a sale. Seriously, if they tell you on the phone that they're just not interested and they don't want to be bothered about this anymore, you better come to the realization that they did fill out the form for a reason and you need to disregard the nonsense. It's your job to get past the horse crap. You got to overcome their excuses and their objections. If you can't do that, then you simply need to learn how to overcome objections, as this is a big part of our business. Oh, and just to be clear on something, if somebody tells me to piss off on the phone, I will be knocking on their door a week later. You have to assume that they filled out the card for a reason, and now they got buyer's remorse and are making up some type of excuse just to get rid of you. It's your duty to get past this nonsense, as most people will not want to buy a life insurance product without some persuasion. So when I knock on the door, I'm not bringing up the fact that we already spoke on the phone. Half the time, they're not going to bring it up either. If they do remember, I'm simply going to say, "Yes, ma'am, you did tell me to piss off and never call you again, but my boss would actually fire me if I didn't come here. It only takes about 10 minutes for me to go over the information that you requested, and I promise, Mrs. Jones, I'm not going to try to pressure you into buying something that you're not really interested in. That's just not my style. Where can we sit down real quick?" Guys, it's rare that a prospect will actively be looking for life insurance or burial insurance on their own. Allow me to explain to you the behavior of how a lead actually works. The prospect simply sees an ad on Facebook or they get a card in the mail. The next thing that happens is a thought. That thought for our typical prospect is, "What's this?" or "Is this free?" or "What's this going to cost me?" That's pretty much as far as their brain goes, guys. It's up to you to take that thought, use it as an excuse to get in front of the prospect, find the need for the insurance, get them to admit that they have the need for the insurance, and close the freaking sale, man. Number 4, you must commit to buying fresh leads every single week, even when you're making mistakes or cutting through the learning curve. Look, I've been in sales my entire life, and Final Expense is the easiest product in the world to sell. If you can't be successful at Final Expense sales, you're probably the type of person that would starve to death while sitting in a grocery store. The biggest fail for agents, even agents that have been in the business or industry for many, many years, is to not have brand new leads coming in every single week. If you want to be successful in our industry, you got to be committed physically, spiritually, and most of all, financially. I'm telling you, no matter what, it's important to keep reinvesting over and over while you're pushing through the learning curve. Quitters give up after just a couple of weeks or maybe even a couple of months and end up trying something else or going to another insurance agency only to fail again and again at whatever the next big thing that they're trying is. You must break the cycle. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Don't just try selling Final Expense. Commit to a career in Final Expense sales and change your life. For information on our Final Expense sales program, which includes direct access to me as your personal trainer, along with commission levels between 100 and 120%, shoot me an email at doug@ufesonline.com. Remember, if you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will fall right into place. Now get out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.